Yeah, hi folks. Now, just a quick video today about what happened to Posie Parker yesterday. More importantly, what happened to free speech and women's rights yesterday. Fascist transgender activists destroyed everything good in New Zealand yesterday, helped along by this naive idiot years ago.
Sir, I want to first of all congratulate Louisa Wall for this bill.
The gay marriage bill.
And I want to say, sir, that the good news about the years in this parliament is you learn to deflect all of the dreadful sort of fire and brimstone accusations that are going to happen, sir. I've had a reverend in my local electorate call the gay onslaught will start the day after this bill is passed. Now, sir, we're really struggling to know what the gay onslaught will look like.
Well, this is what it looks like, you naive prick.
Tēnā tātou katoa, good evening. The anti-transgender campaigner Posie Parker was drowned out by protesters when she tried to speak in Auckland today. A couple of thousand people opposed to her views shouted "Go home" and one threw tomato sauce at her. Forced to leave the stage, she was bundled away by police. Nick Trubridge was there.
Chaos in the park. Differences of opinion descending into riotous scenes in downtown Auckland. Posie Parker didn't get a lot of speaking at her Let Women Speak event. Difficult to do that when you're met with this. Initially, there was plenty of support for the British anti-trans activist.
Well, I've come to support women and the protection of women's safe spaces.
Good on you, lady.
To put it simply.
So my darling granddaughters can have their space and changing rooms and toilets like we used to have.
Exactly.
But this stop on Parker's tour was doomed before it started. As she arrived, so did the masses and the noise.
Posie Parker is due to start speaking here at 11 a.m, but there's not much chance of her being heard. The noise here is unbelievable. They've already had what looked like projectiles thrown at them. It'll be interesting to see whether they can get started. For now, not much of a chance.
Suddenly it was all on. Barriers broken, Albert Park's rotunda was stormed. The Brit herself in the firing line, tomato sauce bombed by someone disguised as a supporter. Eventually she was forced out, ushered through crowds and into a waiting police car. The state may have granted Parker entry, but trans rights protesters had other ideas.
Can I ask why you've come here today?
Because I'm a good person. Because I'm a good person.
To protect my trans brothers and sisters from people like this. Get out of New Zealand with these people. They don't belong here. Trans people belong everywhere. Fascists don't.
But you are the fascist. You are the ones silencing free speech.
Even after one side was driven out, tension continued to boil over.
Posie Parker has left the venue. She was ushered out of here soon after she attempted to start talking, but minutes after she's left, these clashes are still happening in the vicinity of Albert Park.
Parker's supporters still spreading their message.
Because I believe that woman is woman, that the biological woman has a right to defend her inherent rights.
Exactly.
As trans rights protesters assembled down the road, this time taking their message to a nearby rally for Hannah Tanuki's Vision NZ party. The rolling mall made its way down Queen Street to the waterfront, then turned back, and in doing so, the two opposing groups briefly confronted one another before dispersing. A clash of ideas spilling out onto Auckland streets.
Kia ora, Nick. Posie Parker is of course due to speak in Wellington tomorrow. Does that mean this is all going to happen again?
Well, the short answer, Laura, is no, it won't be happening again, because we have just heard from Posie Parker's representatives to say this event will not be going ahead in Wellington tomorrow. In a nutshell, her security have advised her that they cannot keep her safe. A little bit more from Posie Parker's camp tonight. They plan on laying a complaint with the Independent Police Conduct Authority over the police's presence here today, which they obviously think was not good enough. They say when things escalated, the police were not there to help. And some parting shots from Posie Parker as well, effectively having a go at the media, saying they are already starting to downplay what happened here after supposedly whipping people up into a frenzy over it all week, Laura. So some fighting words from Posie Parker, as you might expect, but that event in Wellington tomorrow will not be going ahead. It is off.
Tomorrow, a controversial anti-trans activist coming to speak on that. There's been a debate around whether she should be allowed in the country, whether her visa should be blocked. Do you think she should be allowed in?
Well, look, we live in a liberal democracy, and it's really important that we have free speech, and that means that we have to defend people's right to free speech even if we disagree strongly with what they're saying. And so, you know, the great thing about free speech, and the best thing that can happen, is that someone puts a counter view to those arguments as well.
But fascists don't give counter views. They prefer to shut free speech down.
And that's exactly what should happen in a liberal democracy. So, you know, I may not like her comments, but the reality is that, you know, free speech is really important in our democracy, and it's a high bar to ban someone in that regard.
Will you be going to any of the events,
No,
either
I
the
won't
counter-protest or... No? None at all?
No.
And just lastly, do you support the rights of New Zealand transgender?
Absolutely. Yeah, we want New Zealand to be a place where you can safely express your sexuality and your identity without any persecution, without any problems with that. We want every New Zealander to be who they are and to be able to express who they are freely.
So you're quite happy with biological men going into women's toilets. Luxon, you are anti-woman. Now I'll leave it there, folks.